Good morning, dear students. Welcome to Commerce class. Today we are going to discuss about Chapter 5 Hindu Undivided Family and Partnership under Unit 2 Forms of Business Organization. So, this Hindu Undivided Family and Partnership form of organization comes under non corporate enterprises. So, first let us discuss about Joint Hindu Family Business, that is HUF. This joint Hindu family business is a distinct form of organization peculiar to India. Here, it prescribes, it is created by the operation of law. It does not have any separate and distinct legal entity from that of its members. That is, the family members will take over the business and they will run the business. They will inherit the business, the family members, like grandfather, father, and son. So, like this, they will carry on the business. The family members only, they will do this type of business. Family business, it means. The business of joint Hindu family is controlled under the Hindu law. The membership in the family is acquired only by birth in that family or by marriage to a male person who is already a member of joint Hindu family. Next, we'll move on with meaning of HUF. When two or more families agree to live together and work together, invest their resources and labor jointly, and share profits or losses together, then this family is known as family or HUF. As already said, this Hindu undivided family business is controlled under the Hindu law. There are two laws which controls this Hindu undivided family. That is Dayabhaga law and Mitakshara law. These two laws are very important. Dayabhaga law is prevalent in Bengal and Assam alone, and the other, that is Mitakshara law, is prevalent in the rest of the country. According to Mitakshara law, there is a son's right by birth in the property of joint family. It means when a son is born in the family, he acquires an interest in the property jointly held by the family. Today, Hindu Succession Act 2005 is applicable to all male and female members of Hindu undivided family. Next, we'll move on with features of joint Hindu family business. Features means characteristics. First feature is governed by Hindu law. As already we saw, this particular type of business is governed by Hindu law. Next, we'll move on with management. Who manages this type of business? Who controls this type of business, that is joint Hindu family business? Here, joint Hindu family business are controlled and managed by one person who is known as Karta or manager. Karta is a person who is the senior most, the head of the family is termed as Karta. Other members in the family, that is under the head, the other families, those who are participating in the business, joint Hindu family business, they are termed as co-partners. That is those who help this Karta in the business. But only Karta is entitled to deal with outsiders. But other members can deal with outsiders only with the permission of Karta. Next characteristic feature is membership by birth. By birth itself, they become the member of the family. As soon as a child is born in the family, the child becomes a member. So, membership requires no consent or agreement. Here, agreement means written or oral. There is no need of agreement or no need of any consent with other persons. As soon as a child is born in that particular family, that child becomes a member of that family, and the family business, that child can do that family business. Next feature is liability. Already in sole trader form of organization, there prevails unlimited liability. Here, except Karta, the liability of all the other members is limited to their shares in the business. So, normally it denotes what? Unlimited liability for Karta. The amount of debt can be recovered from his personal property also if he is failing to repay the debts. The Karta. Next feature is permanent existence. permanently who can exist in the family. Whether it can exist permanently or the business can be closed. That's what we are going to discuss in this permanent existence. The death, lunacy or insolvency of any member of the family does not affect the existence of the business. So this particular type of joint into family business permanently exists by the family members if other family members are affected with any other disease, or they are affected with lunacy, or they may be failing to cooperate in the business. So in that circumstance, any other family member can carry on the business activity. So this type of business exists continuously, permanently. Next feature is implied authority of Karta. So what is meant by authority? Authority means the power. Here implied authority refers to the person who has power to enter into contract. So here only Karta has the implied authority to enter into a contract for debts and pledge the property of the firm for the ordinary purpose of the business of the firm. So undoubtedly only Karta, since he is head of the family, he has an implied authority. Next feature is minor, also a co-partner. As I told already, co-partner is a person under Karta. The family members are termed as co-partners. Here in joint into family firm, even a newborn baby can be a co-partner, since that baby also is a member of the family. Next feature is dissolution. Dissolution means the closure of the family business, putting an end to the family business. So joint into family business can be dissolved only at the will of all the members of the family. What is meant by will? Will means opinion of all the members of the family. Only when all the members of the family deciding to put an end to the family business, then only it can be dissolved. Any single member has no right to get the business dissolved in the family. Next we'll move on with partnership form of organization. First we'll see about introduction of partnership. Partnership means two or more persons when they join together in order to do a business is termed as partnership form of organization. So this partnership organization is an extension of the sole proprietorship. There, in case of sole proprietorship form of organization, only single individual will take care of the business. Since there were so many drawbacks in the sole proprietorship form of organization, this partnership form of organization came into existence in order to solve those drawbacks, such as limited capital, limited managerial ability, concentrated risk and less chances of expansion and growth, etc. So these are the drawbacks which is suffered by the sole proprietorship form of organization. In order to overcome all these drawbacks, partnership form of organization came into existence. With the result, the sole trader is compelled to seek the cooperation of others so that he can meet the changing situations effectively. Generally, when a sole trader finds it's difficult to handle the problems of growth, that is, when a sole trader, since he is a single man, he cannot solve all the problems with the business in order to grow up the business and expansion. In order to expand the business, he suffers a lot since nobody is there to help him. So he takes the help of another person called as partner. Thus, it represents the next stage in the evolution of business organization. One new organization comes up, that is partnership form of organization. So the persons who enter into partnership form of organization, who enter into partnership in order to do the business, they are individually called as partners and collectively they are called as firm. According to section 4 of the Indian Partnership Act 1932, it defines partnership is a relation between persons who have agreed to share the profits of the business carried on by all or any of them acting for all. It means partnership itself is a relation between persons who have agreed to share the profits of a business. They will agree when two or more persons join to do a business, they will agree, they will enter into an agreement in order to share the profits of a business. Since the persons will invest the capital, so they have the right to share the profits of the business. That business can be carried on by all or any of them acting for all. It means all the persons can carry the business, or they can even have an agreement with the persons that one can carry on the business, others will participate only with the profits and losses, or others will only contribute the capital and they will not participate in the management of business organization. Only one person will indulge in the management. Next, we'll move on with definition of partnership. According to Professor Anne, the relations which exist between persons competent to make contracts who agree to carry on a lawful business in common with a view to private gain. It means it is a relationship that exists between persons competent to make contracts. That is, a person who has completed the age of 18, then only he will be competent to make contracts, to make agreement. And they have to carry only lawful business. Lawful means legal business. They should not carry illegal business, and in common with the view to private gain. Common means commonly to all the partners, their aim is to work for acquiring profit. That is the gain for them. So they have to work with oneness, with unity, in order to earn profit for their own purpose and also for the interest of all other partners. Next is the definition given by Spriggle. According to Spriggle, partnership has two or more members, each of whom is responsible for the obligatory requirements of the partnership. Each of the partners may bind the others, and the assets of the partners may be taken for the debts of partnership. It means partnership has two or more members, then only it will be termed as partnership. So each of whom, every member in the partnership form of organization is responsible for the activities performed by them. So they are obligatory, they are compulsory responsible for the requirements of the partnership. Each of the partners may bind the others. That is, they have to work for the benefit of all the partners, and the assets of the partners may be used for the debts of the partnership firm. So with this, students, we come to the end of the part 1 of chapter 5, Hindu Undivided Family and Partnership. In this part, we saw about introduction of Hindu Undivided Family, meaning, characteristics of Hindu Undivided Family, and then we entered into partnership. So in partnership, we saw introduction of partnership and definition of partnership. Tomorrow we'll see about the characteristics and so on. Thank you, students. Please do remember what I taught today. Thank you.